Happy Saturday, guys. How are you? Welcome into the Saturday morning edition of the Daily Juice Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Perrault, every single morning here on BettingPros.com. We are always being brought to you by BetMGM, and the offer from BetMGM is pretty good. The $5 bet for new customers. You win $100 if either team scores a touchdown today in the game you bet. Side, money line, total, doesn't matter. If a single touchdown gets scored, $5 bet on that game, you win $100 when you use that promo code JUICE100, JUICE100 for the Daily Juice BetMGM offer for new customers where it's available for BetMGM new customers. All right, so it's been a rough week. So I went back and did some accounting. By my count, we are down 2.5 units here on the week, heading to the weekend. That is not where we like to be after another full unit loss last night. Not good. Unfortunately, Liberty. I was at dinner, and I thought Liberty scored a go-ahead touchdown to go up 28-21, which would have at least potentially given us the cover at -6.5 for Liberty. Something happened. I'm just got back from dinner. I still don't know what happened, but clearly that touchdown didn't happen. They turned the ball over at the 3-yard line. Syracuse went down and kicked a game-winning field goal, and so not only did we not get the cover, that Syracuse won the game outright. So the only good thing about this cold streak in college football is that the last two nights they've been half a unit bets. So even though I lost them both, I only lost 1 unit on both those games. Red Sox got curb stomped. Evaldi was done, 3 runs in the first inning, and that was it. That game was over. So bummer for the Red Sox, and hopefully they bounce back. But I liked them in that spot because of plus money. I felt like it was good value. Sometimes you make a value bet and it doesn't pay out. So it happens. Okay, so 0-2 on the night. Not where I want to be by any means. 1-3, 0-2. So we head towards the weekend with a rather disgusting 1-5 record into the weekend. Yeah, But hey, we keep on firing, and it's a roller coaster ride, and we're bound to come out of this and turn things around. Okay, so here's where we are right now. On the table right now is West Virginia plus 17 against Oklahoma, and Notre Dame plus 6.5 against Wisconsin. Both those numbers are the best numbers at the time of taping, okay? So we have the best numbers if there is some buyback on Notre Dame late, or if folks get involved with West Virginia, or maybe Oklahoma money comes in. Some people I like think that Oklahoma's going to win this game by 100 points. I said it when we made the bet, or I made the bet. I said, look, it's either OU by 50 or West Virginia driving in the fourth quarter with a chance to win the game outright, and they very well might win the game outright. I don't see any real in-between, like OU winning by 10. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. 17 points is a lot of points in a conference game. On the road, West Virginia's numbers are not good. I get it. People are fading it. It's okay. I like Notre Dame because it's going to be a slobber knocker, hard-fought football game, both defenses rising up. And when we have a low-scoring game, probably somewhere like the 45 region, I want the plus 6.5, and we're going to grab on to the plus 6.5. I've got one more dog bet to give you here, and I've got a flyer for boxing that I'm going to give you as well. Before I do that, real quick, a reminder on the schedule for tomorrow. I have a whale of a day, guys, okay? So here is what's going to happen. 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. We are on the Discord bet chat conversation. We had over 150 people in there last weekend for it. You guys are 2-0 for your bets in college football. All right, we've done well with this. Let's find another winner tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time for the Discord bet. You guys will nominate wagers. We will then go and vote on the Discord channel, and you guys will then have a wager that we will track, that I'm tracking. I will bet it with you for tomorrow, and who knows? I need your help because clearly I'm not seeing the board well right now. That's what happens, right? You start off really hot in college football, and I've cooled off in a big, big way. I don't know. I've missed my last 2 bets in college football. I know that. I think I'm something like 17-9-1. I think something like that. It's a record. I got to go back and check, but we're still up on the year. I mean, at last check, I think I was up 7 units going into yesterday, so I think I'm still up 6 units in college football. So we're still fine. I mean, we should wind up in September, but who knows what today? Like, look out for today. But yeah, so we got that at 8 o'clock Pacific time in the morning. That's bright and early for me to get up and beyond, okay? Then the circa million team conversation with Cold Brewster and D Nizzy and all the other guys, Treebeard and whatnot. Our team will get together at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, 12 noon Pacific Time. All right? That chat will be 20 minutes or so, because from there, after we pick our 5 circa teams, I'm going to circa. David Behrman, who we just did the Sharps Report with, he's in town watching games. So I'm going to go down there because I'm going to watch football, and I also want to watch the Anthony Joshua fight. So that's where I'm going to go watch the Joshua fight. Once the Joshua fight is over, I am then going to UFC 266, and I'm going to go and watch the UFC fight live here in Vegas, okay? So when this happens, the podcast on Sunday or Saturday, Sunday morning will drop late. I will be tired, okay? We already have 2 bets in play with the Patriots and the Cardinals. I'll come back. We'll have, I'm not going to do a personal teaser, by the way. I'm not going to do that. I'm 0-2 so far, so I'm stop doing that. But I may have one. I'll have at least one more play on the card, and then we will have the Wong teaser and the prop bets all to come on Sunday morning for the live stream with Dan Harris and myself getting together at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern to chat about the entire field, the whole entire board, all the games going on for week 3 of the NFL. It's been a long day. So we're going with that. Okay. So 2 chats tomorrow in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat to get into it, bettingpros.com/chat, or the link is underneath me here on YouTube to get in. All right. So West Virginia plus 17, Notre Dame plus 6.5. I'm going to add one more full unit bet. Clemson on the road at NC State. This number has been climbing and climbing and climbing, and it finally got to 10.5. And I'm jumping on the dog. You know, it's wild to watch DJ Ugalele in this offense. Do they have an offense? NC State is okay at defense, and they're okay at offense. They're at home. This is a double-digit home dog. And something is not right with Clemson. Now, they may put it all together, okay? And they may just come in here and blow the doors off of NC State. But I don't see it. And I know a lot of people that think that NC State will win this game outright coming up today, and it will end. This is where Clemson's run of the last couple of years, it ends here on the road at NC State. NC State's got some really good playmakers. They got a competent quarterback. NC State's catching double digits at home. Why? I know it's Clemson, okay? And everyone's betting Clemson, driving the number up, open at 9. It's now 10.5. You may get 11, and it's climbing, okay? Man, I'm just going to tell you right now, NC State plus 10.5, 1 unit. We're adding NC State plus 10.5 up against Clemson. I'm going with all dogs. I've been burned with favorites on Wednesday and Thursday, or Thursday and Friday. I am not going to get burned here on Saturday. If I'm betting dogs, I'm taking dogs. And if I get burned by favorites, so be it. I got 3 dogs that I'm looking to go barking with. West Virginia plus 17, Notre Dame plus 6.5, NC State plus 10.5. I will say this, and at the time of taping, we're not there yet for what I'm looking for here, but I want to go check this right now to make sure it hasn't moved on us. Baylor hosting Iowa State. If this number continues to climb and this number gets to like 7.5 or 8 or 8.5, if Iowa State money keeps on coming in here on this game, man, West Virginia's up plus 18 at Circa Sports. That number continues to climb. That is, I'm okay with being on the other side of that steam. Number is still 7, okay? I want to get to 7.5 or higher for Baylor. But that is a play I do like. If you want a 4th dog to jump in with, Baylor plus 7 against Iowa State. These are, I remember, we talked about this like a week ago. Going on the road is really difficult. And for teams that haven't done it, Iowa State's been at home against Northern Iowa. They were at home against Iowa. And then there were 25,000 Iowa State fans here for their game against UNLV. They haven't been in a hostile environment yet, okay? And Baylor's got some weapons. Baylor's got talent. They're at home. They're going to be going crazy. Baylor plus 7.5 or higher is another play that, depending on how the day goes, I may be getting involved with that one. That game kicks off at 12:30 for us. So like maybe if I get the Notre Dame game right, I may come right back and take the winnings for that and roll it right into Baylor plus 7.5 if it gets over 7. It's currently 7 for Baylor, but with a total of 46, getting 7.5, 8, 9 points, love it for Baylor at home against Iowa State. So the official plays, West Virginia plus 17. You can get 18 now. Notre Dame plus 6.5. I haven't seen. That number is at Circa. That number hasn't moved. It's still 6.5. Yeah, it hasn't moved at Circa. And then NC State and their game at home. NC State catching 10.5 points. Circa, you can shop around. I saw this at 10.5 at a bunch of different places here in Vegas today for that game with Clemson coming in to NC State. I didn't bet this at Circa. That's why I'm looking to see what Circa's numbers will be on this. But, okay, they're at 10. So I got 10.5. So I have a better number than what Circa's got right now. I have 10.5. Okay, so here are 2 plays you could make sprinkles. These are small bets, okay? Small bets on Anthony Joshua against Alexander Usyk. All right, now Usyk is a former cruiserweight. He was a dominant cruiserweight. He was a world champion at cruiserweight. He has gone up to the heavyweight division. He is a tricky southpaw boxer. He's not a puncher. He's a boxer. He's a dude that is going to frustrate Anthony Joshua in the same ways that Andy Ruiz frustrated Anthony Joshua. He's got quick hands, not a ton of power, but enough power that over the course of 9, 10 rounds, I think we could very well see ourselves get into a situation where the accumulation of the punches could become a problem. And Anthony Joshua's chin is suspect. We know this, that his chin is suspect, okay? So this is how I am going to bet this fight. Anthony Joshua most likely will win this fight on the cards. Most likely this fight goes the distance, okay? So there's a couple different ways. You can bet the over 9.5, which is minus 145. If you were going to bet a full unit on this fight, that's the bet I would make, okay? Over 145 for a full unit. I'm not doing that, okay? These are heavyweights. I'm very concerned about that. Here's where I'm going, though. Just a quarter unit on either bet, because both bets are plus money. You can get Usyk to knock out Anthony Joshua at plus 795, okay? The thought is this. Anthony Joshua has been clipped before and knocked out and stopped because he fought a guy with quicker hands, a guy who is a real boxer, and Anthony Joshua is known for taking his training a little bit if the guy is not a marquee huge fighter, all right? He took Andy Ruiz very lightly. He got knocked out. He also was accused of quitting in that fight because he just took too many punches. That's what Usyk's going to do. He's going to accumulate punches, and in the later rounds, I think Joshua might be ready right there for a KO, to be stopped, to have his fight be stopped, and then, oh my, is DAZN going to freak out? But I don't trust Anthony Joshua. He hasn't looked right for a while. In his fight against Andrew Ruiz, the second one, he ran around and just kind of kept himself away because he knew he could outpoint him. He may try to do the same thing here with Usyk. He may just keep himself out of danger. Don't get clipped. Just fight really, casually and fight very cautiously. And then we go to the cards. Joshua by decision is, depending on where you look, okay? You can shop around, but Joshua by decision is plus 255. Okay, Joshua by decision at Circa Sports. Joshua to win by decision is plus 255. So I'm sprinkling. These are just 2 flyer bets. If you are really concerned about money and your bankroll is getting drilled because I'm sucking, don't bet this. Okay, this is just me for fun. I'm going to be at Circa. I'm going to make these bets at Circa. I'm going to enjoy myself on this. And if they both don't cash, I'm totally fine with both these bets not cashing. I just want to have some action here on this Anthony Joshua fight against Usyk. I'm going to be at Circa watching this. So a quarter unit on either prop, okay? At plus 795, Usyk to knock out Joshua at plus 795. And then Anthony Joshua to win by decision is plus 255. I'm rolling with both those wagers, and let's see if we can cash in one of those prop bets come in for us. Most likely, both these bets are going to lose, all right? Just heads up. Most likely, Joshua stops Usyk late in the fight, like the 8th or 9th. Like I said, if you're going to bet a full unit or more on this fight, if you're going to go at it for real, over 9.5 rounds, I think is a very good bet. I think that's a very good bet. I'm not going to make it. I don't want to lay juice on this fight. It's going to happen at 5 o'clock, by the way, Eastern time on DAZN, 2 o'clock on the West Coast. Just a heads up on that as to when that fight's going to happen, just to give you an idea of when it's supposed to go off over in England. It's at 5 o'clock for us, 2 o'clock here in Vegas. So it's a day fight. It's up against college football. Tough to pry people away, but I want to watch and see if Anthony Joshua loses, because I think there's a good chance that Anthony Joshua could lose. He can't lose on the cards, all right? He's not losing on the cards. No judge. It's like Canelo. Canelo's never losing in Vegas on the cards. Joshua's not losing on the cards in England. Not happening. So, it's either a knockout or Anthony Joshua could, if he stops him, then fine. But at minus 260, there's no real, not really interested. And you might go, well, Matt, why not bet the plus 220 on Usyk to just win the fight? There's only one way. This is not mixed martial arts. There's only one way he wins the fight. He KOs Joshua. That's it. That's the only way. He's got to knock him out. And he doesn't have great power, but he has to stop him. The fight has to have, like what happened with Ruiz, a accumulation of all the damage, all the punches, and then you basically get Joshua to quit. Maybe not like a knockout, fall down, knocked out ice cold, but he just stops. And before, remember with Ruiz, the ref was like, come forward, and he was like, I'm not coming forward. Could happen again. Just saying, why not? Let's throw some money at it for fun, right? Anthony Joshua to win by decision at plus 255. They're calling him Alexander. It's not Alexander. It's Oleksandr. That's how you say his name. Oleksandr Usyk at plus 795 to knock out Anthony Joshua. Both those bets at a quarter unit. Okay? So those two plays are live today. NC State plus 10.5 is also live today up against Clemson. You may get a better number than me, but I'm taking the home dog at plus 10.5 up against Clemson for NC State. So 3 dogs for college football. West Virginia plus 17, Notre Dame plus 6.5, NC State plus 10.5. All those bets are 1 unit, and then a quarter unit on Joshua by decision and Usyk by knockout for the fights. Remember, we do have the 2 half-unit bets going as well on UFC 266 for the win for T-City at plus 155, and the win for Nick Diaz up against Robbie Lawler. We're taking Robbie Lawler at minus 110. By the way, that number now is minus 160. We got good value there. Closing line value on that fight because of Nick Diaz's conversation with ESPN and talking about all the craziness that he's been talking about, coming in at 185.5. He was supposed to be 170. No wonder why they had to bump it up. He never would have made 170. So, a lot of questions about Nick Diaz. He's an amazing fighter, so maybe he pulls one out and shocks the world, but I'm going with Robbie Lawler there. So Lawler and in T-City, Brian Ortega to take the belt from Alexander Volkanovski. Great fighter, but I think it's T-City's time coming up here and some good plus money on that. So that's our card coming in for Saturday. I will talk to you in the Discord channel coming up 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific, 11 a.m. for the Discord bet conversation and then the circa million conversation. By the way, we're 4-6 for the million. We need a big week. We need a good 3-2 week. We got to get over 500. We got to get climbing here. It's early, but we don't want to stack too many 2-3s or 1-4s up there. We want to have a good week coming up this week for the circa million conversation for the Daily Juice. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. Each and every morning, it's the Daily Juice podcast being brought to you by BetMGM right here on BettingPros.com.